So I recall this time whenever years and years ago, earlier in my career, whenever I was, young and green. Hopefully I'm still relatively young, but I was younger. I was greener in my career, greener in understanding the way of corporate America or how organizations work, and I was really attached to my work. And that sounds good, but what I mean by that is it led me to become really passionate about things that sometimes didn't matter as much. It was big in my small world, but on the grand macro scale of just like moving the needle in terms of just like adding real value to the business, or if it mattered like to the company itself, like those things didn't matter. And it actually led to like there was points where like it would turn into like heated debates with like coworkers about work and decisions to be made about things. Now, before I talk more in detail about that, I do want to say my name is Ryan Holguin. This channel is called The Practical Place, where I like to talk about all things career, business world, even dabble into like hobby stuff like sports and data. And I try to sort of distill them down, and really it's an open-ended sort of discussion or dialogue I like to have, kind of like a video diary about those topics. And maybe it's helpful to you, maybe it's not, but either way, I want to do this because I enjoy it. It's something that sort of helps me sort of think through ideas that I'm kind of working through in my own mind, and maybe it benefits you. So if any of that sounds exciting or interesting to you, I would encourage you to subscribe and join the nearly 350 other people here on this journey as we try to learn and grow together. So as I was saying, I was really attached to my work, and there was a specific instance where there was a coworker who was actually like a closer friend, like a work friend, that was more than just like the coworker I worked with and talked to about work things. But like we knew things about like just in our personal lives, family, whatever, right? And honestly, I don't even remember the specific details, but like what I do remember is like it was a heated sort of conversation, debate. Voices were raised about like some sort of tactical way to go about some issue that was happening, right? And I was in a place where I think I was sort of evolving in my thinking about it. I think I was like seeing a mentor at the time, or like I happened to have a mentor at the time that really was transformative in my growth. And if you want to know more about that, there's other videos where I talk about that on the channel, of just like how I've learned to grow and see corporate America through the lens of just like somebody who's trying to really better themselves and add value. But in this case, I was still fresh in that, and I was still holding on to like my ideas and like the way I saw it. I think everybody else needed to see it that way. So one would say like arrogance, and I would say arrogance as well. And it just led to this heated debate, and we ended up like working things out, and like we're fine or whatever. But in that moment, I was so holding so tightly to what I believed in. And I really wanted to push that on the people, and I wanted them to believe that. And like, there might be a place for that. And, there's this channel. And when I speak about things, like you can do whatever you want. And I'm never like trying to offer any prescriptive advice or anything. I'm just thinking out loud here. But like, every opportunity is different, and there's not always right and wrong. It's just like good, better, best maybe, or like not ideal and ideal or whatever. It's never like good or like right and wrong. And like this case, one would just feel really strongly about their convictions and really like, die on that hill. But like hindsight, it's like that conversation we had was like it could have been totally avoided had I just been like, honestly, yeah, it's not a big deal. I'm not passionate about this in the sense of like I live and breathe whatever we're talking about here, but like I can just let it go and not worry so much about like all the small little details about work and like small decisions being made. Like there are times where like you need to speak up, obviously, and when you need to have a conversation with somebody, if you see like decisions are really headed in the wrong direction. But even then, like what I've learned is to sort of detach myself from the work, which sounds sort of counterintuitive, because you would think you'd want to be intimately involved or intimately like attached to your work. But what I found is like whenever I was attached to my work intimately like that, and I was like, I just saw everything as precious, like my work as precious. And so if somebody would come and give me feedback or critique, I think I would still take critique, but like there was still a part of me that would say, No, like I'm still going to do it the way that I see it needs to be done because that's what's right to me. And maybe it was, but like there's still a way you can go about, life and career where even though you're right, you're still wrong, if that makes sense. Where because you're so bent on things being done the way you envision them to be done. Whereas I've just sort of learned to sort of step back and not really get offended at all. It's not personal. If somebody's even taking a direct shot at you or taking a direct shot at the work that you did, like even if it is personal on their front, I've sort of learned not to take it personal because it really doesn't matter. Like in the grand scheme of things, two things can be true. Like I really love the work. I really want to do well. I really want to provide and serve, my coworkers and the customers as much as I can, right? But I can also recognize that like everybody's different. I think about things in a certain way. My coworkers, people that I've worked with think about things in a certain way, and it's almost a miracle every day that those things work together. Where you have all organization of thousands of people and hundreds of people, and they somehow work together. It's kind of crazy to think about, but I've learned to just, and that's honestly something that I do these days. Like if I'm pitching something, I will in my mind, be my own critic. And I think that one of the healthy benefits of that is like you're running your idea through the ringer and you're trying to sort of stillman the argument on the other side of like you're presenting this idea, right? And let's say there's somebody you're presenting it to. Well, what is like the harshest critic going to say? And then I have to say that about myself and I have to say that about my ideas first and go through that whole exercise of just sort of pressure testing it, if you will, before I present it to somebody, because in my mind and in my heart, I've already gone through that process of like critiquing it and seeing the flaws. And so when somebody else points out a flaw, one, I already know there's flaws, and two, I'm not offended anymore. Like because I've sort of ran it through the test, and then also like, and another phrase I always say too is like what do you think? You're not gonna call my baby ugly. Like it's totally fine. And I've just learned like everything, all the time that I invest into certain work, it's not about the work itself. It's not about, my identity is not in the projects. It's not in this tool I produced or this thing that I did, because if anybody comes by and critiques that and puts it down, like then that's my identity and it's crushed. And I just learned that for me, it's such a volatile way to operate. And hindsight, I didn't know that. That's just all I knew. Like, or, at the time I didn't know that. That's just all I knew. That's just all I sort of operated in. And I just thought like, I just need to figure out how to manage this. And then I realized, and I had that mindset shift of just like, man, I don't have to be so married to like the things I do. I can still be passionate about the work and have this deeper conviction than just like producing results. But it's like a deep passion to know that, hey, I came in every single day and I gave it my all, and like that's enough to be satisfied with for me. Now it may not lead to the results I want, and that's a different conversation, but the effort and the mindset that I put towards my work every single day is sort of what I'm talking about here, sort of where I sort of tried to focus a ton and know that whenever people don't like my work or people critique my work, like it's not personal at all. And then, another tidbit that I've learned too, on top of that, like when people critique or give me feedback on something I do or whatever, there's almost, and it could be delusion, right? But there's almost like a slight sense of buy-in that I'm getting from them, because why would somebody give feedback to something they don't care about? Like if I don't care about something, I'm not even going to give it the time and day. I'm not even going to think about it. I'm not even going to think about it enough to give it feedback. But like if I'm giving feedback, then I'm thinking about it enough to have some sort of vested interest to see it change, to see it be enhanced a little bit more. And so that's sort of helped my framework as well. Whenever I'm pitching ideas or whenever I'm doing things, it's like, okay, for me right now, the goal is not, wholesale people just buying into it and praising me. I'm looking for feedback. And whenever they give feedback, that shows, okay, there's buy-in. I've got a little hook on them. And again, it might be delusional, but it works for me. because I think too, like, yeah, if you go into a demo and you pitch something, right, and it's crickets, no questions, no thoughts, you kind of walk away and you're like, okay, well, I guess they don't care about it, or I guess it was perfect. But you kind of know in the back of your mind that, like, oh man, they didn't get feedback. That must mean they're not interested. So yeah, I guess multiple things are true in this case. It's like, for me, it's like detaching from the work. It's not your baby. You know, you're not calling my baby ugly. Like, I'm fine. I'm not going to be offended. It is what it is. And then also, like, excuse me, if there is feedback, then that shows me, hey, there's a little bit of buy-in here. How do I leverage that into more buy-in? How do I leverage that into more buy-in? And then hopefully, you know, you start to get buy-in and then collaboration, and things go well from there. But yeah, that's something that was on my mind. I was thinking about this week. Yeah, let me know what you guys think about that in the comments below. Is detaching yourself from the work, does that seem like a bad idea? Does that seem like something that's difficult for you to do? Have you been able to do that? And if so, like, how has that worked for you? Let me know in the comments below. Start a dialogue. And if you found this idea or this video insightful or helpful, I would encourage you to like it. And again, as I said in the top of the video, subscribe here to The Practical Place if you're not. Almost 350 subscribers. So just a few weeks ago, I was saying just 300. And now we've gotten almost 50. So 50 more in the past few weeks. So I'm really thankful for that. Just, you know, continue to subscribe, and I'm going to continue to try to make more videos and ideas about this. So yeah, until next time, my name is Ryan Holguin here with The Practical Place. I will see you in the next video.